Hi Aries, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to talk about the new moon in Scorpio Solar Partial Eclipse that occurs on October 25th, 2022 at 7:01 Eastern Standard Time. So at this eclipse, both the sun and the moon are in Scorpio at 2 degrees, and also Venus is accompanying both of them at 2 degrees as well. So this is a very interesting point at that 2 degrees of Scorpio. Aries, for those of you who haven't joined me before, welcome. This is where we talk about astrology, the aspects and the transits that the people on Earth are going through, as well as what is going on in the collective. But we also look at, pull some tarot cards. Today we're actually going to pull an animal spirit totem card as well, because I feel like anytime we have an eclipse, this is a major event. Even though this is a partial eclipse, it still is an interruption of the energy that is going on. And since this is a new moon, this is a time to plant new intentions, but also figure out what is no longer working for you. And Scorpio is that sign of digging deep into your intellect, your psyche, being able to look at things with a different light, looking at the truth even though it may hurt, being able to really transform yourself. And so I think that this is going to be an interesting time for our collective, financially, for our the stock market, for inflation, for the economy, also in terms of people's self-worth, their self-value, how they use money. But also it's going to be an interesting time because with that Venus energy, we do have kind of like this energy of possibly an insecurity around self-worth, how you see yourself around others, and really having to be brutally honest with yourself, Aries, to figure out what is it that I need to change about myself, maybe my work, maybe the people who I keep company with. Scorpio is that energy where truth does come out. So do be prepared for, it could be a turbulent time for many people because a lot of people don't like to look at the darker side of things. So Scorpio really gives you that permission to make sure and do that, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle the cards for the animal spirit totem. I really like, Aries, every eclipse, I like to pull some kind of special cards, if you will. These today are going to be the animal totems because I feel like we all need kind of like that extra guidance, especially at eclipse times, because oftentimes information, themes come up that we're not really quite sure how to handle. And I feel like our animal spirits really kind of help us and guide us. So let me see which one is for you all. You all have the stingray, Aries. Okay, so let's see what that one means. I go into this book. Like I said, these totem cards are from Kim Krantz. And let me take a look what stingray has to do with. They are all separated into earth, fire, water, spirit. So it looks like stingray is going to be water, which makes sense with this Scorpio eclipse. So I did find stingray. So let me read this to you, Aries, and see if this resonates. Stingray, developing confidence, sense of self or spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends make the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. So when it's in balance, eager, you want to grow. When it's out of balance, you blame others or you just quit. to bring it into balance, move through the discomfort. Now, if that isn't Scorpio energy, I don't know what is, Aries. So, and I think it's interesting because I feel like Aries, you all connect with the Scorpionic energy a lot because you all are both ruled by Mars. And so I feel like you all share a lot of those qualities of Mars, like action, wanting to be goal oriented, wanting to get things done. But sometimes, as you all know, Aries, you all can be impatient. You all want to get things done like sooner than later. And so I feel like that stingray is really important to remember throughout this Scorpio eclipse season, to take your time, really go within, and don't think that you have to have answers instantly, and have a spine. I love how it said, you know, you're going to have to make a choice between the old and the new. And that really is that Saturn Uranus square that we just had, you know, a few weeks ago. And just so you know, Saturn does go direct 2 days before this eclipse on the 23rd. So you all might be faced with some challenges, Aries, of facing old beliefs, having to get rid of some things that you're not really ready to do, especially with that Venus conjunction there. So let's do a past, present, and future, Aries, and see what we're working with. So in the past, you have the Chariot card, Major Arcana number 6 in reverse. You have the King of Swords, upright position in the present. And you have the 8 of Pentacles in the future, Aries. So definitely some type of energy around wanting to get something done with that Chariot card, King of Swords, possibly you trying to seek clarity, and that 8 of Pentacles possibly having to do with your work or something that you have been trying to work hard on. But let's pull some clarifier cards just to see how the Chariot, the King of Swords, and that 8 of Pentacles information can get a little more clarity, a little more insight. Now, do remember, Aries, with this Scorpio eclipse, we do have the South Node in Scorpio, but it is not going to be at that 2-degree mark until we get to like May of 2023, which means you still have a 6-month cycle of time to play this out, meaning plant your seeds now, but just know that it could take up to 6 months to really see the karmic cycle go through all of the ebbs and flows that it needs to. So don't think, that's the thing about an eclipse, don't assume that it's all going to happen right here on October 25th when we have that lunar eclipse. Full moon in Taurus on November 7th. Everything isn't going to happen just right then. You know, this is a time period that we're going to have to go through. Do take a look at the eclipse videos that I have had for a while on Scorpio Soul Time. Look at that playlist. You can look back 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to kind of review where you have come and then where you still need to go. I think it's really helpful. Okay, so clarifying the Chariot card, we do have the 9 of Swords in reverse. To clarify the King of Swords, whoa, you have another King of Swords, Aries. So something dynamic is going to happen at this eclipse for you, because 2 King of Swords, and look, it's like back to back, like you're upright and you are the opposite. So this is almost like a power struggle possibly with yourself. So just keep that in mind through this eclipse cycle. And then in the future, you have the High Priestess in reverse, clarifying that 8 of Pentacles. Wow, Aries. So I'm kind of blown away at that King of Swords, because to me, we do have a grand air trine here happening at the same time of this eclipse with Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. So you might really get some powerful insights around this eclipse, Aries. So just really pay attention to what intuitively is coming to you, especially with that High Priestess, okay? So let's take it card by card. So in the past, you have the Chariot card and the Nine of Swords in reverse. To me, this signifies you trying to get something done. You were trying to move forward with maybe a project. Maybe you were trying to figure out how to get something off the ground, whether this was a career, a job, a project, but it feels like you have been worried sick about it, like you haven't really been able to think or focus correctly. I do feel like this makes a lot of sense, especially just coming out of Mercury retrograde, but this could also be bigger cycles than that. This could have been since the Scorpio full moon eclipse that we had in April, May, June time of earlier in 22 this year. So look back and see what this could be referring to for you, Aries. But I am sensing that there is something that hasn't been able to take off as you would like it to. But in the present, at this Scorpio eclipse, since this is a new moon, maybe this is an opportunity for you to really get clarity as to what is it that you want to do with your career, your job. What is it that you've been trying to get in motion but haven't been able to, like maybe you didn't have the finances, and maybe you have to get really clear now, like, okay, I thought I was going to be able to, you know, start my website with just $200 in my pocket, but now I realize I need to pay for, you know, an SEO consultant, and I need to pay for stock photos, and I need to pay for hosting, and there's all these things that you need to get clear on. And maybe this Scorpio eclipse is this time for you to kind of go deep within and be like, okay, I realize I've had issues with kind of being true to myself and really mapping out everything I need. I feel like this King of Swords with this King of Swords really is almost like a lightning strike of like, where is it that you need to get super clear with yourself? This is really all about you. Like there's no cards in here that have other people. There's nothing like you're fighting anyone or you're, you know, in a relationship. Every single one of these cards only has one person in it, Aries. So that is all about you. And I feel like that's what this Stingray card was talking about, right? Building a backbone, being able to come to grips with the old and the new. So I think that your Stingray is right on target. In the future, it looks like that project, that job, that career, your spirit guides really want you to take some time and sit with it. I feel like you've been doing something for a really long time and you don't really know if it's where you want to continue, if that makes sense. And I feel like this Scorpio new moon is going to be this perfect time for you to kind of weigh the pros and cons of like, is this something you want to continue to do? And intuitively, do you still resonate with it? Is it still something that you want to keep doing? And I think as you go through this cycle, Aries, you're going to get really crystal clear on what is it that you do want and don't want. I would say take a look at your sun, moon, and rising sign videos just to get a little more clarity, and also take a look at those eclipse playlists that I have below. Okay, Aries, I hope you all have a good new moon in Scorpio, solar partial eclipse, and I'll talk to y'all later.